Hello friends, now we are going to consider the next remaining type of classification of magnetic material, that is the third category, ferromagnetic substances, or that property is called as a ferromagnetism. In previous lecture already we consider diamagnetism and paramagnetism, and respectively substances are called as the diamagnetic substances and paramagnetic substances. Now the third category, that is the ferromagnetic substances, are those substances which are strongly magnetized in the direction of applied magnetic field, and the property possessed is called as a ferromagnetism. Actually this ferromagnetism we are going to describe on the basis of one of the important theory called as a domain theory proposed by scientist Wess. So what is this theory? According to scientist Wess, or according to domain theory, every ferromagnetic material. Now what are the examples of ferromagnetic substances? Remember few examples such as cobalt, iron, nickel, etc. If you remember these three names, this is more than sufficient. Actually there are two earth metals, gadolinium and Fe2O3, ferrous oxide. So these three material, mainly cobalt, iron, nickel, and alloys of iron, means all type of steels, are considered under category as a ferromagnetic substances. They get strongly magnetized in the same direction in which magnetic field is applied. So according to domain theory, any ferromagnetic material, let us consider iron. So it consists of small region inside it, and each small region is called as a domain. For example, we are going to divide this entire material in 4 regions only for the sake of simplicity. In reality such million or billion number of regions are there. This is first region, second region, third region, fourth region, and each small region is called as a domain. Now its length is very small, it is of the order of micrometer, or its volume of domain is of the order of 10 raised to minus 12 to 10 raised to minus 18 meter cube. This is the value. And in such a small region of this volume, almost 10 raised to 11 to 10 raised to 18 atomic magnets are there. Atomic magnets are there. What is speciality of each domain? Here speciality of domain is that in first domain, or in each domain, dipole moment vector of all the atoms are in the same direction. Means here whatever atomic magnets are there, they have the dipole moment in the same direction, so that each domain has certain resultant dipole moment. For this domain it is in upward direction, no doubt. In second domain, not necessary that it should be upward, it may be in another direction. For example, in second domain we can say that all atomic magnets have dipole moment vectors, in which direction? Right side direction, okay, or horizontal direction. So this is M2 bar, which is towards right. In this third domain, just assume all atomic magnet have dipole moment vectors in downward direction. So this is M3 bar, in downward direction. Fourth, it is towards left side. This is just for the simplicity. It is not necessary that direction should be only vertical and horizontally right and left. It may be inclined also. This is M4 bar, towards left side. Now this is actual arrangement inside ferromagnetic substances. What is difference between para and ferro? Inside paramagnetic substances, all atomic magnets have their dipole moment vectors arranged randomly. Almost same point. Atomic magnets are there in both. Means in the absence of external magnetic field, every atom has dipole moment. Here also every atom has dipole moment. But here they are randomly arranged. Here systematically arranged. And the systematic arrangement in a small region, that small region is called as domain, which contains this much atomic atom, and each domain has certain resultant dipole moment. But as a whole substance, here dipole moment is 0 due to random arrangement. Here also resultant dipole moment of substance is 0. Why it is 0? Because in unmagnetized state or external magnetic field is not applied, then these domains are arranged in such a way that effect of one domain is cancelled by any another domain. For example, here M1 and M3 say equal and opposite, get cancelled. M2 and M4, they are equal and opposite, get cancelled with each other. So whatever will be the number of domains, for example 500 domains are there, 250 domain will cancel the effect of 250 domain. Hence resultant dipole moment is 0. Means still this material is not magnetized. But when external magnetic field is applied, you just imagine now second case, when external magnetic field is applied, and suppose not strong, a small magnetic field is applied, external magnetic field, say it is applied in horizontal direction, B bar. As soon as magnetic field is applied, A domain whose dipole moment vector is in the direction of magnetic field is start growing in size. As it start growing in size, there will be shifting of domain boundaries. These domain boundaries will be shifted like this, so that this domain become of larger size. Till these two domains say cancel with each other. Which one? M1 bar and M3 bar. But what about this M4 and M1, M2 bar? M2 bar and M4 bar, if we compare, here large number of atomic magnets are there, and therefore its dipole moment will be very large. Here small number comparatively. See, size is small here. This domain start increasing in size, and hence this material will acquire certain resultant dipole moment. In which direction? In which magnetic field is applied. Means simply this material becomes a magnet or get magnetized strongly, not strongly, but weakly in the direction of applied magnetic field. Why I use word weakly? Because at this stage, if external magnetic field is removed, material regain its original structure as it is. All domain boundaries will be regained, and there will be same arrangement. Again, effect of one domain will be cancelled by another domain. So this is weak magnetization. Now, if this external magnetic field is increased, in third case, if this external magnetic field applied, it is very high. In that case, yes, if very high magnetic field is applied, here, whatever domain boundaries, actually these imaginary lines by which these small regions are separated are called as domain boundaries, or also called as a domain wall, WALL. So all these domain walls or boundaries get disappear, and there will be, yes, a single domain in which all atomic magnets will be aligned in the same direction in which magnetic field is applied. So in this case, we can say that if all atomic magnets are aligned in the direction of magnetic field, this material will possess a very strong magnetic dipole moment. Means here material is said to be strongly magnetized in the direction of external magnetic field. If now this magnetic field is zero, material cannot regain its original structure. What it means? Certain permanent dipole moment exists in this material, means this material is said to be permanently magnetized. Is it clear? So this is nothing but ferromagnetism on the basis of domain theory. Now here actually in small region, how all these atomic magnets are held together? There must be certain attractive force among them, and that attractive force is called as exchange coupling. Coupling means, yes, connecting together. So that exchange coupling connect all these atomic magnets in this smaller region, and actually when strong magnetic field is applied, then all atomic magnets get aligned in the direction of magnetic field. So this is about ferromagnetism on the basis of domain theory. So in next lecture we will consider, yes, Curie temperature and its effect on magnetization. Okay, thank you.